Hello guys, and welcome to the Black Gold Homestead. In today's video, as promised, I will be showing you how I start my tomatoes here. I think we are doing maybe about 16 varieties of heirloom tomatoes today. So I'm doing them in two different methods. I use these peat starting trays for the smaller cherry types. And then the larger ones, I tend to start in these big cups. And I will show you how I do that. But I used to have more of these pots, and I don't have as many as I used to. I lost them, or they busted over the years, so I gotta get some more of those. But I will show you how I do this. So right down here we have the seed starting mix, and it's already pre-moistened. I mix it myself. And you can kind of see it there, and it holds a little bit of a shape, but it's pretty loose and crumbly, which is what you want. You want a rather loose, crumbly mix so that the roots of the young seedlings can easily get down in there. So then I just take this little tray here, and I just fill them up. And fill this up here. Can be a little bit hard doing it inside, but usually isn't too hard. Like I said, I just come over the top, pour it in, and just level each seed starting cell off, like so, making sure they're all adequately filled. There's some extra soil, I'll just pour that back in. And then you just, don't have to, but I just like to tap it so that you know that the soil is a little bit firmed in, just so that way whenever you're watering, the water won't run out. Okay, so this one is done. Now I gotta do another. And you can see it's nice and filled. And here's a flat of peppers we have. And a couple different varieties in there. And if you're wondering what the gold specks are on the top, that is a gardening product called vermiculite. And what you do is you put it on the surface of the seed starting trays like that, and it will prevent dampening off. Dampening off is a type of fungus that the seedlings can occasionally get. And here's the vermiculite. And I mix some into the seed starting mix. There's a little bit in here, not much. But then after I plant the seedlings, I just, come through and sprinkle like that. And you can do it a couple of times, just a pinch is all they need. And it helps prevent funguses and stuff from, but the peppers are coming along pretty nice. These ones are sweet bananas, and these ones are another sweet variety, and those are hot peppers, and there's an eggplant. Okay, so now I will fill up the next one, and then we will do the pots. If Josiah loves the seed starting mix, you know the tomatoes will. Okay guys, now I'm gonna show you how we do these big pots. And I do the bigger type tomatoes in here, like the beefsteak types and the larger slicing tomatoes. I think I might have a small variety too. Yeah, I have, I don't know. I think I have an Amy's apricot somewhere, but wait, no, I don't. Okay, but anyways, so tomatoes can root along their stems. Like if you take a cutting, they will send roots out along the stems, and I don't really have a good way of showing that, but I fill these about halfway when I start, so that as the plants grow, I can add more soil around, and then it will strengthen the plant because they can send out roots from their sides. So I don't really have a good way of measuring that, but I think I'll just take this little container. And that's not quite half, but it's about, you know, probably about halfway filled, if you can see that or not. So we will fill these, and hopefully I have enough seed mix this time. And these are really good heavy-duty containers. We got them a couple years ago with ground covers in them, and we saved them. But, you know, we don't have that many anymore, but this is more like 2/3 filled, I would say. Actually, not quite. I know I said about halfway, but 2/3 is fine too. Oh, that one's a little bit too large. And this one here, you can see the label is Yellow Brandywine. Oh, another nice feature about these pots is if you look on them, they have little tabs so that you can start them with your popsicle sticks as the labels, and it'll be on the outside, which means it won't be in the moist soil, which means it won't get rotted and it'll last longer. That's another plus that I really like about those pots for the starters. Okay. So, I do save a lot of my own tomato seed, but I also get some seed that I got some from my aunt in Tennessee, and I also got some from Baker Creek Heirloom and some other companies. But so now what I'll do is I'll show you the seed starting. So I hope this video isn't boring to you guys. I hope you can learn something from it, but let me move my seat over. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with these two back here. These are the Black Beauty and the Paul Robinson. And I've never grown the Black Beauty variety before. And I got the seeds for that one from Baker Creek. And I don't know how well that's showing up, but Black Beauty tomato, Baker Creek. And there's the back if you want to see a little bit more about it. But years and years ago, I grew a variety of tomato, probably about 4 years ago now, called Paul Robinson. And I don't know what happened to the seeds that I saved from it. It's kind of like a brick red tomato. But I got some seeds from Baker Creek, so I will be growing some Paul Robinson again in the garden. So here's how I start these. You can see down here, I just give them a few taps to firm it up. Sometimes just put my arm in there. And then I take a shish kebab skewer and I just make a little hole in the center. I don't know how well that's showing, but you can see there's an indentation. And the thing about tomatoes is they don't have to be very deep. Tomatoes, you know, the seeds aren't super large, so they don't have to be very deep. Some of your larger varieties, like the Brandywines, their seeds are larger, so they can go deeper. But some cherry types, like the Wild Cherry, Matt's Wild Cherry tomato, they barely need any soil on them at all. So right now I'm just going to open up the seed packet. And I hope the lighting's okay here for you guys. It's kind of a little bit. But these are the Black Beauty. And I think I'm gonna put, Okay, so I had some seeds fall out there. That's good. So there's one seed. And here's two stuck together. I don't really like them stuck like that. I'll just break them apart. We'll put 3 black beauties in. Just pop them down in the hole there. You can see them. And then I'll just take my finger and just gently cave it in. You don't want to firm it down too much. Okay, so that's pretty much how I start the big ones. And I'll do that for the other varieties. So next I'm doing the Paul Robinson. And Paul Robinson is a really great heirloom. When I grew them, I don't know if any of you guys who grow tomatoes are familiar with this, but sometimes here we can have very wet springs, and then it will get real dry in the summer, and then we'll have a wet spell again, and then it'll dry out again, and that will cause cracking in the tomatoes, cracking and splitting because of the uneven moisture. The Paul Robinson is really good, I found. It doesn't really crack. It resists it, and it's a large tomato. I'd say 8 to 10 ounces. High yields, and rather quick. I'm not sure the maturity date. Oh, it says 7 to 12 ounce fruit. Doesn't say the exact, doesn't say the exact number of days to maturity, but it does say start indoors 6 to 10 weeks before your last frost, because tomatoes are generally a long season crop. And if you look in here, this is something I highly recommend. Not needed, but highly recommended, is a seed starting mat. It's just a heating pad, and it just keeps it, I'd say in the 70s to 80 degree range. It will make the seedlings dry out faster, but the bottom heat really helps them, especially the eggplants and peppers. So let's get some Paul Robinson in there. Alrighty. So the Paul Robinson seeds are in the hole. And like I said, we'll just very lightly cover them. So those two are done. Alright, so now I'll show you how we do the flats. And let's see what we got. The very first one on the end is ivory pear. And if you guys do not grow the ivory pear or are not familiar with that specific variety of tomato, I highly recommend it. It's a really interesting, fun to grow one. I saved seeds for it. Oh, here they are. It takes a long time to reach maturity, but well worth it. You can grow it in containers. It's larger than your yellow and red pears, and it has a really good flavor. I actually do eat it, but here you can see I saved some seeds, and they are kind of all sticking together, but you can just break them up. But anyways, so if I can find my shish kebab stick. These trays, I don't go as deep in. So what I just do is I just take the pointy end of the shish kebab stick, and I'll just kind of scratch the surface in a little area like that. And you can see there's not much of an indentation there. So I'll get these planted, and then we will continue the video, and I'm going to show you how to just simply top dress them if you want to do your vermiculite before they sprout, in case you're worried about dampening off or have had problems with dampening off in the past. So stay tuned. So now in this segment, I'm going to be showing you how you top dress with your vermiculite to prevent any fungal diseases. if you just want to go ahead and get it done and over with whenever you are seeding. So some people, and I'll show you this, will do this. They will just sprinkle it over the top real fine like so. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do a little experiment. We're going to do half real fine like this. Like that. But I don't really prefer to do that because I feel like sometimes the little seedlings have a hard time pushing their head up if like a big piece falls on them. You know what I mean? So, I will show you the other way that I typically do it. So this is how I typically do it. I typically get my vermiculite and I will just do it in a ring around the outside, but it's kind of hard to get that because these are smaller pots. So I think I'm just going to do the sprinkling for these ones. Like I said, just do a sprinkling. And this, like I said, keeps any funguses off of them, especially the dampening off fungus. But now with the bigger pots, we can do them differently. We can take the bigger pots here, and we can do it the way I prefer to do it since they are bigger pots. And we can just take it in a ring on the outside of the pot. And if you look, it's mostly on the outside and the center is pretty clear. So that's how I prefer to do it. And of course, as the seedlings continue to grow, we will be giving you updates and all. So stay tuned for that, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notifications so that you know each time we make a video. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.